going on, good people? What's going on? Turn this music down. Hopefully, I can, you can hear me and everything. Had to go live real quick and wanted to give my quick review of All Eyes on Me, Tupac Biop. Came out yesterday, June 16th, 2017. Which would have been Tupac's 46th birthday if he still was with us here in the physical. And I've seen since yesterday, and especially today, there's been a slew of reviews, many mixed reviews about the movie, and just a lot of different YouTube, a lot of different thoughts and opinions from a lot of different sources, a lot of different YouTube videos, and many of them, most of them, I definitely appreciate their insight, whether I agree with their opinion or not, and, I figured, hey, why not throw my little particular spin on things, and also I wanted to throw a few things out there, thoughts in regards to the controversy behind the movie. Just even the making of the movie and the different things, like the final product that some people have mixed reviews about. I'm definitely a conscious person, so, it's been a lot of talk in the conscious community that, a lot of different stuff. So anyway, just jump right to it, not to ramble on. I saw the movie yesterday. In my initial opinion, I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was good. Now, I will say, going to the movie theater and sitting in the movie theater, I'm a huge Tupac fan. I think I'm the biggest Tupac fan in the world. Everybody that's a Tupac fan says that, though. But, I'm definitely a huge Tupac fan. The man definitely had a lot of influence on my life. So, with that being said, I probably did have a little bit of bias in the sense that, I was just gonna like it regardless. It's funny because I actually saw another YouTube video by a Tupac fan that was going in, and he was saying like maybe he was more critical of the movie just because he's such a diehard Tupac fan and the things that weren't kind of right or whatever. But me, it was like, I guess from my point of view, there were certain things that did stick out to me that either A, could have been expanded upon, B, was a little one-dimensional or just not fully developed. Like it was the more stuff that I wanted to know, even though I already knew the real backstory myself. I still just wanted to see more on the screen in certain scenes. And then, sometimes it felt rushed where we were just skipping to different, parts of Pac's life. And, Pac, even though he was only here for a short 25 years, he had a hell of a life, like, just period. So there was no way that you could have possibly took every important portion of his life and put that in screen in 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think you could do that even if they made like a Tupac mini-series. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still think even with that, it would be stuff that's just left out, But overall, I liked the movie. You know what I'm saying? I went back and like looked at different clips and I'm replaying, I've been replaying it in my head, and keeping that in mind as I've looked at some other people's reviews. And so I can, kind of point out and agree with some of the criticisms that I've heard, so, but again, like, just in the realm of movies, and then as, a shout out if any kind of way you guys may hear this, shout out to Blue Pill and Red Pill, that be on YouTube with their YouTube channel. I was just watching a video about Blue Pill earlier, and he was talking about the Tupac movie, and then he was even talking about how in this age, we're kind of caught up in comparing things, duality and comparing things. Like when one thing comes out, especially if it's like impactful or, hits really big, so to speak, then immediately when something else comes out, that something is compared to the first thing. So in that regard, many people off the bat was comparing this movie to Straight Outta Compton. And he was saying that at the movie theater that he was at, when he finally came out of the movie after it was over, some of the ushers was asking him, like, what do you think about the movie? And then they told him, like, hey, some other people came out, way before the movie was over, and like they ain't like it, and they was like, it's not like Straight Outta Compton, and I guess in that sense, if you want to compare them to, no, it's not a Straight Outta Compton. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things, but just from a strictly critical standpoint, as a person that is just a lover of movies, that also a person that's an aspiring movie maker, and just a person that's, again, the number one Tupac fan, or definitely a huge Tupac fan. And like I say, everybody want to think they're the number one. So yeah, in that regard, I can still honestly say, like, I think All Eyes on Me was a good movie. Could have been better in some regards, but it was a good movie. You know what I'm saying? I've heard some people say that they don't think it did Pac justice. I respect their opinions. Myself, I wouldn't say that. I would say it didn't do Pac enough justice, but I kind of put that in the realm of there's just no way that they could put everything in there. And now I will say some techniques that the writers, directors, and producers used, far as in the storytelling, could have been a little bit better, but it's still, overall, it was decent. It was good. You know what I'm saying? But Straight Outta Compton was just so... Straight Outta Compton is in its own category. Now, Straight Outta, on a comparison basis, the writing, yes, was better. The direction, yes, was better. The cinematography and even the scene pacing, watch what you gonna do, was better. So yeah, in that regard. But it wasn't like All Eyes on Me was just crap. It wasn't. It was good. And it definitely had my interest. And again, I'm a Tupac fan, so it wasn't like anything I was about to see I didn't already know about Pac. Now with that being said, one of the controversies is, like, I guess also yesterday, Jada Pinkett Smith had tweeted about the movie and said that she was deeply hurt by some of the portrayal of her and Tupac's relationship, their friendship. And, she named like a few points, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, stop right now because I'm finna throw out a few things that's in the movie. But it's a part in the movie early on, like right when Pac is getting ready to leave Baltimore. He's talking with Jada Pinkett, and he reads her this poem that he wrote for her. And I remember the poem because, after Tupac had died and everything, a little while after that, there was a collection of all his different writings and poetry, because Pac was a poet. Some people don't know that. Like, a real poet, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, and he wrote a lot of poetry. And so much, I think his mother and collaborating with some publishers took, a lot of his poetry that had never been published or even seen by anybody and compiled it in a book, The Rose That Grew From Concrete. I actually had that book. I think I ended up, somebody stole it or borrowed it and kept it. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Well, yeah, my brother, don't get out of line then, bro. Don't go check it out, man. Like I say, in my opinion, overall, I think it was a good movie. I've seen a lot of the different reviews, a lot of the different controversies, and a lot of, And here's another thing I want to say, and I'm glad you just popped up, bro. For those in the conscious community, if any of y'all out there watching, I definitely love y'all, your passion, your vigor, and your spirit, but I would really hope and encourage some of y'all to be mindful of what you put out on social media in regards to this movie. I've seen a lot of people say that, they just flat out to say how they ain't gonna go support it. People talking about, all the writers were white. One guy was like, the same people that killed Tupac is the same people that made the movie. And I'm like, and I wasn't even trying to be an asshole or anything or be smart or knock this dude, but I did have to get a little sarcastic. I'm like, well, so you mean to tell me the same Crip dudes that was in the white car that pulled up next to Pocket Sugar in Vegas and shot him is the same dudes that made these movies? So L.T. Hutton and Benny Boom, which is the producer and the director respectively, they was the dudes that was in that white car that pulled up and shot Tupac. That's what you saying? The same people that killed Tupac is the same people that made this movie. Well, L.T. Hutton is the producer of this movie. You know what I'm saying? And Morgan Creek is the studio house and the production company. So they was the ones that directly killed Tupac. And I get I know all about the conspiracy theory, trust me. I was talking about that stuff when many people wasn't even believing in that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to draw the connections. I've been talking about that stuff since the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? After Tupac got killed. So trust me, I know all about the conspiracy theory and how ultimately the proponents of white supremacy, white elitism were the ones that kind of maybe ordered the death of Tupac. Now, with a lot of, I don't even want to get into it because that's a whole big thing unto itself. But I will say this to my conscious people. We got to start looking at many of these conspiracy theories in a much broader fashion. A lot of times what invalidates our arguments when we try to, share this information with others, we compact and generalize it in such a way to where, we make it seem like, oh, this is one big plot and all this. And a lot of times it don't work like that. I keep telling y'all, man, these people that have, that orchestrate stuff, they're not all powerful and they don't plan and orchestrate everything. Many times they know just how to take advantage of the situation. And that's it and that's all. I now kind of feel like maybe, Pac's death really was what it was. It was that situation. And don't get me wrong, I know all about the questionable things about Orlando Anderson and him just even being in Vegas. Now was that part orchestrated? I don't know. I really don't know. But however it went down, it's just, like I say, I get what people's argument is in the conscious community, but when you blow things out of proportion, you really kind of invalidate our arguments. And some of the arguments, I'm not saying I'm firmly as still as militant minded as the next one, but some of this stuff we be talking about is just kind of like unrealistic in this system that we living up under. And y'all just gotta really realize that. Some people want, oh, I'm not supporting this one, I'm not gonna go spend money to see it, because that's be supporting the white man, the white people that killed Tupac. But you saying that on social media, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, that is owned, operated, and totally profited off of by nothing but white people. Come on now. Your argument, I'm not knocking you for your passion and your conviction, you know what I'm saying, of your beliefs, but really it's kind of really is illogical. I don't want to, it's just you're speaking out because this is the thing that's here now. Now again, I will say, let me just kind of jump onto some of the different controversies that I heard about this movie. One of the first ones going in was that John Singleton was going around bad mouthing this movie, and you know, that really kind of disheartened me, because I'm still a John Singleton fan, and all of that, and I'm fully aware of the so-called controversy between him and Tupac, but I do believe, you know what I'm saying, that John Singleton and Pac was cool, you know what I'm saying, at the time before Pac died. Like, they didn't, you know, Pac ain't lead his world with, you know, but Pac, you know, I'm a Gemini, so I probably understand Pac in some ways that some people don't. I know sometimes Geminis, we can be pretty misunderstood. I ain't saying that to victimize us, because sometimes we bring it on ourselves. We do some pretty misunderstandable stuff. You know, it's just the gift and the curse of being a Gemini, I guess, you know. And one of the things, especially when we're younger, we're very hot-headed. Like, we're so some of the coolest people in the world, some of the most laid-back people in the world, peaceful and peacemaker, but we can also be very hot-headed. And you know, we have a thing about loyalty. And bro, Marwan, I hope I ain't spoiling things for you. Although you a Pac fan like me, bro, so you know, you already know this stuff. But again, I had to say spoiler alert. You know, it was parts in the movie, like toward the end of the movie, like it's a part, and I remember this interview in real life, like when, you know, this was still knee deep in the so-called East Coast versus West Coast thing, which wasn't really so much East Coast versus, it was Pac said what he said about Big because he felt the way that he did about that situation. You know, I think Pac misunderstood the situation, but you can't blame Pac, because if you got shot up 5 times in the lobby and then you go upstairs, your head will be jumbled up too. But, you know, once he came out with Hit 'Em Up and all of that, that was Pac versus Big, and whoever spoke out on Big's behalf. It wasn't Pac against the entire East Coast, you know what I'm saying? But there's a part in the movie where it's like the dude that's playing Snoop, where Snoop is giving an interview, and they kind of talk about Big and Puff and all of them, what you think about that, Snoop, and Snoop is just like, oh, them my homies, and woo woo woo, and Pac is watching this, so Pac gets heated, like, and you know, like a little bit later, when Snoop is about to get on the plane with Pac, they telling Snoop like, oh man, ain't no room on here for you, you know, you might need to go catch that other plane or find some other way to get back. And then Snoop ended up getting on there, but you know, Pac ain't really speak to him. Like, Pac's just looking at him like, you both. And that is I can see that really happening. Like I say, you know, it be, when we be loyal like that, we get real mad over a lot of little petty stuff. And that happens, like any of y'all that rock with me, you know what I'm saying, in real life, as well as on social media. It's some of y'all, we done fell out and then got back cool. It's some of y'all that's out there, you know, if you see this, we done fell out and then unfriended each other on social media or whatever, or in real life. And real talk, I still wish you the best and still got love for you, you know, even if we ain't friends, associates no more, you know, because whatever it was that I about was mad for my part, I done got over by now, you know. So, and that's kind of thing that's kind of crazy. Like, Gemini, we'll get heated 200 real quick, and then we'll calm right back down, or, you know, after a few days. So I can see whatever, you know what I'm saying, because people try to bring up the interview, I mean, like the phone conversation that was leaked that between Tupac and Monster Cody, you know what I'm saying, which was, you know what I'm saying, like this infamous Crip dude that had turned into like an activist, wrote, you know, books about stopping the violence and his life as a Crip and yada yada. But anyway, you know, in the conversation, Pac did at one point say that he thought John Singleton was a coward. But, you know, Pac done said a lot of bogus shit about his friends. You know, when he get mad at you, he gonna say, you know, how he feel at the moment. But once he come to his senses, like Pac done said shit about Omar Epps, you know, and they was cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Pac done said shit about a lot of people. You know, like I say, you know, in the movie it shows, and I remember it kind of, I think Snoop even talked about it before himself too. Like, you know, Pac got mad at Snoop for saying that he was still cool with Big and Puff, you know, so, you know, that's how it is. But, you know, it was crazy, like, when I was first hearing about the controversy, I was hearing that John Singleton was saying that the All Eyes on Me movie was going to be whack. It was a disservice to Pac. He didn't want to be a part of it, blah, 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 you know. And then I was like, damn, I wonder why, you know, like, even if something happened where he couldn't be a part of the movie, why would, you know, because I know how he felt about Pac, like that was his boy. So, you know, so then I started hearing, you know, the counter version of that, or now I don't know if it might have been a proactive version, so to speak, but from producer L.T. Hutton and director Benny Boone, but especially from L.T. Hutton, you know, talking about, well, the reason John's going around saying all these bad things about the movie is because John's hating and he's mad that he got fired from the movie because we didn't want to go with the script version that he had. Because in his version, he was going to have a scene of Tupac getting raped in jail, and he was going to open up the movie with Pac and another dude in the studio. The guy is getting, there with two white girls. The guy's getting head from one of the white girls. Tupac tries to try anal sex with the other white girl. She refuses him. So he tells her, gets mad and kicks them out and tells her to go home to her daddy and tell him that she just got fucked by a nigga. And he also wanted to put like a lesbian threesome scene with Tupac's mother. You know, so I was like, damn, and if all that's true, John Singleton is like foul. Like, I'm glad he not directing the Tupac movie. You know, wow, you know, but now I'm hearing, like, with a little bit more research and more information, that maybe this has been a plot from the get-go, so to speak. Like, the dude, L.T. Hutton, he's been, you know, fighting, you know, to do this movie for 10 years, but Afeni, you know, she had complete control over Pac's estate, and she wasn't, you know, giving it up. Like, she wanted John Singleton to direct. And so, you know, next thing you know, he gets hired, then he gets fired, and then, like, the smear campaign against him. I don't know. You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because right now at this stage, I've seen evidence from both sides of the fence. So it's not enough to convince me one way or the other. You know, maybe John Singleton is telling the truth, or maybe, you know what I'm saying, L.T. Hutton in that camp is telling the truth. I will say this to all the people that's like, oh, they just want to screw up. You know, okay, they didn't, you know, get everything that they possibly could right about Pac's movie. And they did, in some instances, didn't develop enough. I mean, because Pac was just a larger-than-life dude, period. Like, this dude was like, you know what I'm saying, our black Jesus, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Just, that's why, to this day, we still talking about this man 20 years later. Some people still think the man's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Some people think he faked his death. You know, like he took on the name Machiavelli. You know what I'm saying? The dude that was, you know, famous for faking his own death. You know, so, you know, it's hard to encapsulate all of that in a 2-hour movie. But, you know, I would say if these people was just on some straight nefarious stuff and totally intended to set out to just destroy Pac's legacy and character and everything, then if this movie was that, they failed. They did not make Pac look, you know, they didn't make Pac as well-rounded as they possibly could have, but they did not, you know, besmirch Pac's character. You know, And I hope I'm not spoiled. I hope, bro, you done probably, or anybody else that might literally be at the movies right now, you know, if you don't want it to be spoiled, then cut me off right now and go right on in there. But probably my biggest criticism is how they ended the movie. Because it was just like, bam. You know, they showed the scene of Pac getting shot, and they show them pulling him out of the car, shugging him over him and everything. And then that's pretty much just it. Roll credits, and while they show video montage of Pac's performance, different performances. And I'm like, damn, that's it? Like, now I will say that's probably, like, if, you know, overall, I would give All Eyes, like yesterday, if you had to ask me right after I walked out of the movie theater, no lie, and this is still the bias of just being, you know what I'm saying, a huge Tupac fan. If you had to ask me yesterday, I would have said A+. Today, after, you know, further thought and, you know, retrospect and everything, I would say All Eyes on Me, B. I would give it a B. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a decent Pac movie. I won't go as far as to say or agree with what 50 Cent said. You know, 50 Cent kind of ragged on the movie, you know, but I understand where 50 coming from. I do believe that 50 is a huge Tupac fan like myself. I know Tupac definitely had an influence on 50 Cent's music, so, you know, he was a huge Pac fan, so, you know, he was pretty upset. And, you know, you can look online and see what 50 Cent had to say about the Pac movie. And one of the things he said was it looked like a damn Lifetime movie, you know. Now, I won't say that because I remember the Aaliyah movie. The Aaliyah movie was bad, G. The Aaliyah movie was bad. You know, I won't say All Eyes on Me was bad like that. And I won't even say that it was a Lifetime movie. You know what I'm saying? Lifetime quality style movie. Now, could it have been better? Yeah. And then with movies like, you know, Straight Outta Compton and even you know, I thought the New Edition miniseries was very well done. You know, so those types set a high standard. So let's be real. You know, All Eyes on Me had a tough, you know, act to follow, so to speak. And then it was just, I couldn't imagine the pressure that anyone that would choose to make a Tupac movie would be under. You know how much you see right now the end results of that. Like, and I honestly feel that no matter what kind of Tupac film is made, somebody is gonna have a problem with it. You know, so it's gonna be something, because you just not gonna be able to please everybody. You know, because Tupac fans, we come in all shapes, size, colors, viewpoints, and the whole nine. So there's no possible way that any movie about Tupac can truly satisfy all of us. There's been, I don't know, countless documentaries about Tupac, even though many people love, some people don't like. You know, so but I will say, like, with all this different controversy, it's like, I want to just make this one last point, black people. A lot of people keep saying, oh, we're supporting the white man. But like I say, when you're on social media, you're supporting the white man. But I hate to say this, but, you know, regardless of whether the producers and the directors was on it, like I say, if they was on some trying to besmirch Pac's character, and, you know, they did a poor job of that. I think they did a decent job of a movie. This movie did not make Tupac look bad. It didn't, you know, expound upon Pac's life enough. But it definitely didn't, you know, and it kind of ended abruptly. They could have drew out just the impact of Pac's death on the world. They could have went into detail on that, but it didn't besmirch Pac's character, his legacy, in no way, shape, form, or fashion, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it'll probably inspire some people to want to know more about Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say it had an opportunity to go a little bit more in depth with the stuff that people that only saw the media's version of Tupac got to see. And it did to an extent, like the Black Panther stuff. It went into a little bit of detail with that. The relationship with him and his mom, it went into a little, but it could have went more. It showcased the relationship, the loving relationship that he had with his sister, you know, but it could have did a little bit more with that. But if they would say, if this whole thing was one big plot to, you know, not only did these racists plan to assassinate Tupac, then they plan to wait 20 years and have a movie, you know, produce a movie about him, then kill off his mama, then, you know, have Trump say they want to bring back Assata Shakur, Tupac's auntie, you know what I'm saying, and all this kind of stuff. You know, well, if they whole thing was the besmirch Pac, they ain't really do a good job of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they wanted to create a bunch of controversy that just keeps us talking about it, then maybe they succeeded in that, because that's definitely what we are all doing. But here's the thing. For all the people that are unhappy with the movie and just unhappy with white supremacy's control of Hollywood and the movie making scene, well, dig this here. Until we are more supportive of one another and truly use our finances to build the infrastructure we need, we're going to have to deal with this. You know, the reason people like L.T. Hutton and even Johnson, they have to go to white people to get the money to make these movies. You really think that these people ain't going to exercise influence and control over the movie that they invested in? If you come to me and I'm a white dude and you say, I want $100 million to make a movie about Malcolm X, and I give you the $100 million, you don't think I'm gonna try to tell your ass what you can and can't put in that movie? Come on. The only way I can't is if you go get your money from somebody else, or you got your own money. So I would say I supported it, #1 Pac fan, yada yada yada. And then I'm looking at it like that, even if these controversies is true, which I don't really know. You know, because like I say, I could see, you know, LT, and then I even heard, you know, like the dude Benny Boom, he has ties to Puffy and Bad Boy, and, you know, really all he's known for was making music videos, and which I can see, you know, I still think he did a good job, but I can see from the directing, his style, maybe that's why some things didn't quite live, you know, was expanded upon, like, you know, because he ain't really have the experience to pull that kind of a thing off. But I still think he did a good job, and especially if he has only mainly directed music videos, then he did a damn good job considering. You know, because really, let's be honest, this movie could have totally been botched and sucked, and it didn't. You know, was it the best thing ever? No. Was it the worst thing ever? No. Was it pretty good? Yeah, I think so. My opinion. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, if these people was on BS the whole time, well, you know, somebody that wouldn't be, like somebody like me that is a real Tupac fan, I would love to try to, although like I say, it would be a very stressful thing because too many people love Pac, and it just, you know, you always not gonna be able to please everybody. But I would love to one day make a Pac movie. But, you know, and again, I wouldn't want to have to take input and influence from others, especially whites or non-blacks. You know what I'm saying, that may have a certain image and view of Pac, or was totally against everything Pac stood for. So, you know, where am I gonna get the money to make a Tupac movie? If I can't go, you know, if I don't want to go to or can't go to the white people, then I gotta be able to come to my people, right? So, bottom line, my point is, I get the passion to my militant people in the conscious community, but please, people, be mindful of what you're putting out here and the effect that it's having on a larger scale. You know, right now, y'all just kind of going off emotion. But if you really think about this thing from a logical standpoint, even if you disagree with all the politics and all this kind of stuff involved with the movie and all these little conspiracies, support it. Because if our dollar, see, the big excuse that the white industry, movie Hollywood industry uses is that black movies aren't equitable. That's why a lot of money ain't being put into them, and that's why a lot of black actors and directors and stuff, it'd be hard for them to get their projects off the ground. You know what I'm saying? And it's damn near impossible because they can't even get that start, so they can't even build an infrastructure of what would be a black Hollywood, something that we could totally run and totally have control over. So we got to start supporting our stuff even when we may not agree with it, just so we can start building up, man. I'm telling you, if y'all don't learn nothing else, man, black people, y'all need to start to learn how to think ahead, bigger picture, in the long term. This is how your enemies stay ahead of you. They planning for shit 50, 100 years from now. Y'all thinking about today and tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And y'all thinking like the revolution is going to come and it's going to change overnight. No. We need some, you realize every revolution isn't like straight guns and bullets, man. You can do other things that's very revolutionary that'll still change stuff. You gotta be strategic minded, man. For real. And, just for all of y'all that I ain't gonna support, okay, that's cool. But go support some type of black independent cinema so that can build up. And then we can have one day somebody that has, that can come to us to get the money to make a movie that they really want, whether it be about Tupac or the Egyptians or whoever, whatever, real talk. So that's all I want to say. I don't know who all saw this, but if you did, I hope you got something out of it. Like and subscribe. Although this page won't be soon, but I'm coming with a new page pretty soon. It's going to be called The Conscious Driver, because I'm a rideshare driver, and I'm want to make this page so I can share tips, pointers for both rideshare drivers and rideshare passengers, as well as share some of my interesting, funny / crazy / just socially conscious stories. All right, that's all I gotta say, man. Peace and love. Overall, like I say, All Eyes on Me wasn't perfect, but Tupac wasn't perfect. But you know what I'm saying, my grade of All Eyes on Me, I give it a B. You know what I'm saying? Decent movie. And I hope it inspires people that didn't really know too much about Tupac to really learn about him, because that man, you know what I'm saying, he was a phenomenon. And we need more people like that want to change things for our people, and change the world for the better, because even with all his problems, Pac's ultimate, dream and goal was to better his people, better himself, and change the world for the better, so I hope this movie inspires people to learn more about Pac, and then I hope when you learn more about him, his spirit inspires you to want to change the world too. That's it. That's all. All right, man. Peace and love, man. Holla back.